Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what. I'll go first. I used to work at Quick Trip, and our machines did not give us the amount of change that we were supposed to give back to you. So say your total was $7.34 and you gave me a $20 bill. I can tell you that I owe you 1 penny, 1 nickel, 1 dime, 2 quarters, $2, and a $10 bill. Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget.
You can be the hardest working person. You could show up early, stay late, cover shifts, bust your ass, and go above and beyond any and all expectations that they have for you. You can do things outside of your pay grade, and you can work 60 plus hours a week. And at the end of the day, the people who do less than the bare minimum will be treated the exact same as you. And it's not worth it.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
Honey, come up in here so I can give you this sugar honey iced tea. Now, I have learned when it comes to these jobs, honey, always get your time off approvals in writing. If you can't get it in an actual physical letter, get it via text, via email. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, I'm in the medical field and I had to go on a temporary disability leave. My job literally tried to fire me, replace me, and thought when I came back I wasn't going to notice. Honey, they tried to make up so many lies on me, but I had my receipts. Baby, it was so bad, they didn't even want to even go to court with me, honey. They signed me a check and just asked me how much did I want.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
For me, is to not rely on that job no matter what. I've been laid off before, like I'm sure so many of you have, so it's important not to rely on just the income of that job. Pick a side hustle, even if it's part-time, one night a week, a weekend. Be in charge of bringing in some of your money that you're actually in control of. It's the best thing about a side hustle. And the even better thing about a side hustle is side hustles often lead to full-time hustles, which can allow you to either save more money, maybe leave a job that you don't like, start a whole new career. It's really up to you. The control of a side hustle and the control of bringing in your own income is such a satisfying feeling. So I would say the biggest thing I learned from my regular jobs were to not rely on those regular jobs. Put the power to me, make some extra cash on the side.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what. I'll go first.
No, I'll go first. Quick.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
If you are in a job where you're not getting promoted and people that are less capable than you are getting promoted ahead of you, it's because management expects you to leave. Because they know when you're too good for them, and they've had other employees like you in the past, and they're not going to promote you and invest in you if they plan on you leaving in the next 2 years. And also, they know that they're dysfunctional, and you as like an employee probably don't see all the dysfunction. You probably see a lot of it, but you don't see all of it. And they know that once you are in a management role, you'll see a lot of the dysfunction and you'll be disgusted and you'll leave. So I've literally had managers be like, well, like I've asked them like, well, why did this person get promoted ahead of me? And they've been like, well, you're not going to stay here. Like they literally think about this stuff and they know when you're too good for them. So leave.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
So I've worked in public education, I've worked in human resources, I worked in customer support, and now I work in the software world in a technical role. Probably the most valuable thing I've learned working in all those different fields is this. It's really, really important to put barriers between your personal life and your professional life. There's a really toxic idea that was pioneered some years ago by some Silicon Valley executives that you need to bring your whole self to work. That idea is a load of horse shit. I know it is because every field I've worked in, whether my colleagues were poorly compensated public school teachers or obscenely overcompensated like business consultants, the ones who couldn't keep those barriers were the most unhappy, lonely, unfulfilled humans you have ever met in your life. That's not like an overt lesson that you will ever really be like taught in a classroom setting or at like your first job. If anyone tries to be prying or intrusive, simply tell them, I prefer not to talk about those things at work. They won't trouble you after that.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
So this is not just one job. This is like in my career, period. There's always someone in a worse situation than you are. There's always someone you can help. And you are replaceable. They will have somebody else in your seat the next day as if you never worked there.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget no matter what.
Take your vacation time. Take your sick time. Take everything that you are owed.
Tell me something a job had taught you that you will never forget.
Protect your energy. Protect your energy. The first impression that you have with the person that you're directly working under is probably the right one. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So I understand people have off days, people have off weeks, people have off months. It's just human nature. But for someone like me that I was so eager to work at any entry-level job because I had these rose-colored glasses, as people would say, I was just eager to see what my potential was at any company and how I can get them to the next level. But especially in this day and age where we're being so overworked for nothing, for what? For a sneaker? For a piece of clothing? Your life, your happiness is not worth sacrificing for a job that's going to replace you like that. I think it's so natural for us to focus on the salary raise or the next location or the next technologies for the next job of opportunity that's going to be available. But what I wish someone would have told me was trust your intuition. Because even if a company or a job may look like it'll be the best fucking thing that'll ever happen to you, in a few months, that can all go to shit. If your coworkers or the person that is in charge is a piece of shit. And most likely, all of your coworkers, it's not usually their fault. It's the person that's in charge. It's because the person that's in charge is also not protecting their energy because they're so in this hustle, hard working. Like, we all need to slave away because I'm slaving away. It all stems from the top of the pyramid and it trickles down. The toxicity, it trickles down. And I wish someone would have told me to just focus on what I really want, what potential and what value that I can bring, rather than just taking any entry-level job just for the fuck of it. Because that's how you get in. Because that's how you can build your skills. And while that might be true, look for the best options. Don't settle. There are tons of ways to make money right now. Money is everywhere. Money can come to you at any given point. You've just been conditioned to think otherwise. So protect your energy and know your worth.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never forget.
As someone who has worked mostly part-time since I was 16 years old, one thing that a job has taught me that I'll never forget is if you are constantly being told that you're a valued employee, if you're being given new responsibilities, constantly being trained in new things, one of the best employees at wherever you're working. Don't take many days off. Don't ever call in. Great attendance. If you're one of those employees and your job tells you that you're one of those employees and you give that job ample enough time for days that you need off, for days you request off, and you get denied those days, you're being exploited. And the reason I say that is because I have personally worked with the schedule. I have seen the schedule being made. And most jobs don't have the schedule done for 3 weeks in advance. Most places, though, it's only 2 weeks in advance. Very rare that it's 3. Most, it's 2. Meaning, most of the time, if you give them 4 weeks in advance, they don't even have that schedule for the week you're requesting made yet. For most places. So, if they hit you with we're short-handed, we're not going to have people to cover that shift those days, yada, 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 whoop-de-whoop-wop, they're lying to you. How can you not have coverage for a shift you haven't created yet? And then they say that they won't have anyone to cover those days. That's just not true. All they would have to do is just accommodate for you not being there, which would basically be the exact same thing as if they were to fire you for not showing up for those days. So if you're one of those employees and you get denied the days you request off in advance, you're being exploited and you're being manipulated by your job and by your managers. Because a policy I have implemented in myself is that those request days are not a request. They're days I'm not coming to work. So, figure it out.